Hello, everybody. This is FoxNerd here with my abridged version of that movie with the snow in it, Frozen, whatever the fuck. I don't know. The movie starts off and there's these two little brats running around at night because their parents are probably like, God damn it, the kids are out again and we don't give a fuck. And so then they're running around, and that one of them's named Elsa, the other one's Anna, and they both have different hair because that's the only way you can tell them apart. And and they Elsa, I think that's the blonde one. She was like, "Oh look, we're in the big area," and Anna's like, "Hey, do your thing," and Elsa's like, "Okay." Starts waving her hands around, and then Disney magic happens and snow starts falling indoors because that's how weather works. And then snow gets made and they start really fucking up that hallway because snow's not supposed to be in that goddamn hallway, but who cares, the janitor just has to go goddamn clean it up. But whatever, they're just little twerps and brats playing snow in the grand hall. They don't even care about other people. And so there's some jumping, and then Anna pretends she's in a platforming game and jumping once, twice, and Elsa's like, "No, don't do it. I can't do this." And Anna's like, "No, you can because you're my sister and I trust you, because that's how that stuff works." And so Anna's Elsa, whatever, the blonde brat. She was like, I can't do it, and she fired a little bit of musical ice magic thingy, and it hit Anna, and it was like, oh, Anna's dead. But then she's not, because that would be too dark for a Disney movie. And so her parents are like, oh, we know what to do. And they rush to these rock trolls, because that's what I think of when my child got hit by otherworldly magic. He's like, oh, let's take her to the rock trolls. That sounds like a great fucking idea. I totally trust these people. And they immediately knew what was wrong because, the guy's like a fucking MD of magical shit, isn't he? And he's like, oh, yeah, I can fix this, but she'll have blonde hair, so, that'll be a part of you you can't tell apart from Elsa. And, you can't talk about it because that makes total sense. Otherwise, she'll remember and, be worse, even though that never comes up again in the entire fucking movie. Except for, the very beginning. And then, And then, so, they come back. Anna doesn't have a fucking clue what happened. She was, smashed like she drank some sort of milk or something, because that's what kids do. They can't be fucking drunk when they want to. They just drink whatever the hell. And so, then she's like, Elsa, why won't you talk to me? And Elsa's like, I can't, yeah, I'm busy. We're going through a tunnel. And she's, in her room, making things fucked up in her room like she did the hallway because she can't control herself because, she could control it as a child, but not as a teenager, because that makes sense. And then she was all afraid of her sister, and then there was something about her sister going oh, do you want to build a snowman? And Elsa's like, yeah. No, go away, Anna. And so Anna's like, okay, bye. And then she keeps singing the same song for 12 years or some shit like that. Because she has nothing better to do with her life than dance around endlessly in those goddamn hallways, annoying everyone. I mean, seriously, they don't pay those people enough. Oh, and then their parents died in some sort of freak ship accident, but that's just kind of glossed over because it doesn't matter. And then Elsa's the queen, yay! And so then there's some sort of song about them opening a gate or whatever. The gates are finally gonna open. Elsa's all freaked out because, she's actually got the important job, and Anna's all excited because nobody gives a fuck about Anna, Doesn't matter what the hell she does. And so, Elsa's all scared, but she's, trying to be strong because she's, the main fucking character. And Anna's just like, oh, I just care about myself, my sister's not in the picture anymore. I just want to go have fun and party because that's what I do because I'm not blonde, even though that one strand of hair is like my sister's, but that's the only part I resent. And then, there's some sort of party, and Anna is, trying to leave, and then she, falls in a boat or whatever, and then this horse saves her. And, it's a fucking horse that saves her, not the guy. And then the guy is like, oh, I'm sorry, did my horse bother you? And then you look at him, and you're like, oh, hey, he looks handsome, he must be a douche lord. Look at his sideburns and red fucking hair, he looks too cheerful. But of course, Anna's like, hey, look, our hair color is the same. And then, Hans, because that's his name, Hans, because, it's like a Russian fable or whatever. And, stuff. Oh, by the way, there's this guy named Sven, there's a reindeer named Sven with a person named Kristoff in the beginning that's important. But, we see him as a little baby and a reindeer for a second because, that was so important for us to see. That advanced the plot so much. But yeah, that's something you need to remember. And then then Hans is like, no way, our hair is the same. We should totally get married because I'm not a conniving bastard. And she's like, okay, I believe you. I love you. And he's like, yay, let's go dance and do a musical number. And she's like, that sounds great. I did that for 15 fucking years. And then they start dancing around, and she's like, hey, I feel like we finish each other. And he's like, hey, I feel like we finish each other's. And she's like, sandwiches? And he's like, that's what I was gonna say, but it's totally not what he was gonna say because, that's not what people say. And he's probably thinking, this dumb bitch. What is she even doing? I'm gonna be so happy when I kill her and kill her sister and take her throne for mine because all my brothers are better than me because I'm the youngest one of the bunch and I'm all bitter about it for no reason. I'm just a stereotypical bad guy who fucks everything over. Then they are hand in hand and they go to Elsa and they're like, Elsa, we want to get married. And Elsa's like, bitch, no. And then they're like, fine, whatever. And then Elsa's glove comes off and then ice shit happens and she gets freaked out and starts running away. And we actually care about Elsa because she's the main character. Anna doesn't give a shit. She forgot everything. Who cares about Anna? She's just trying to marry some random guy who says he's a prince and really a douche lord. And so Elsa runs off, spreading snow the fuck everywhere, because she hasn't figured out how to get it under control and whatever. The janitors must hate her so much. I mean, how do you hide that shit from the janitors? Like, oh yeah, clean up all this snow. It's the middle of fucking summer, but, it somehow got all in the palace. Enjoy your job. Let's not worry about water damage or anything. And so then Elsa runs off and is, suddenly makes it to a mountain in, record time. It takes everybody else the whole fucking movie to get to that mountain, but Elsa makes it in one fucking night. And she's like, it's cold up here. I'm gonna take off my cape because it's cold. And then she's like, let it go, because everybody loves that goddamn song. And so she's all inspirational for a good 5 minutes, building a snow castle and some stupid snowman. Oh yeah, goddamn it, that snowman's important too because he becomes a character for whatever goddamn reason. And then everybody back at the castle is like, OMG, it's snowing here, what should we do? And everybody's like, let's go burn the witch, Elsa, because, we're stereotypically a mob and we want everyone to die. And then there's this jackass traitor dude who's super short and is obviously compensating for something. And he's like, you guys need to make sure she dies. Our trade routes can't. Fuck him, we don't care. He's just evil and we know he's trying to screw things over and we know he's the bad guy. And of course, the movie's like, oh look, Hans is a nice guy. He's handing out blankets to everyone because Anna you know, the acting fucking queen is like, I need to go save my sister, not send, you know, the guards who have trained for years and years out to go, you know, find her. You know, the guys who are actually trained to survive hardships or whatever. No, you know, I've been stuck in a palace singing songs for 15 years. I know how to survive in the wilderness. And so she leaves and starts clomping around in the snow, and then ends up at like some weird cabin place with some guy, and like she wants to buy things from him, and it's weird and stuff happens. And then this guy walks in and he's like, "Hi, my name is Christoph," or whatever. I don't remember this part very well. And then some talking happens, and he's like, "Yeah, it's really bad for business to have it fucking be winter in the middle of summer, because I'm an ice salesman, don't you know? Everybody just goes and gets ice outside of their doors now. I feel really invalidated in my whole career choice now." And so he talks with Anna, or what the hell, and just is like, "Oh, yeah, I know where that place is. I can help you," or he doesn't want to help her, or I don't even know. He goes into the stable with his weird, you know, bromance reindeer thing, Sven, and starts singing a song like, "Reindeers are better than people. Sven, don't you think that is true?" And it's, you know, the best fucking song in that whole movie, you know. It's like awesome. It's like the bromance of a nation with that reindeer, and you don't even know. But, you know, it ends because the writers are bored when they made it, and they're like, "Oh, let's make a simple song to fill the time." And he's like, you know, it was a gem, and they ruined it. And so then Anna's like, "Oh, guess what? I actually don't know how to survive in the wilderness. All I know is how to sing songs and be like, oh, I want to fall in love with this person," and stuff. And Kristoff's like, "No." And Sven's like, "Oh," and Kristoff's like, "Fine, my reindeer says go." And so then they walk around a lot. There's a lot of snow and a lot of random character building that we don't give a damn about. We just want to see Elsa more. Because, you know, Elsa's the main character. Anna and Kristoff are just kind of the secondary ones. Because, you know, still, the guards are apparently incompetent and nobody can get to the fucking mountain that Elsa made it to within the night. You know, how hard can it be? Really? How hard is it for, you know, trained soldiers to make it to one goddamn mountain in the same amount of time that a queen wearing a full royal fucking gown getting there herself? I mean, does anybody question that at all? Like, seriously, how the fuck did she do that so quickly? And so then there's a lot of walking around, and then they find this fucking snowman that Elsa made, and he's like, "Oh, look, oh no, he's got a more annoying voice. He's like, "Hey, look, I'm Olaf, and I'm fucking annoying, and I'm here for comedic relief only, and look, I team up with the reindeer, and we do silly things to make the movie better. Right? And I ad-lib all my lines so everyone's all impressed with me and stuff." And then he goes into a musical number and you're just like, go melt. Go. And then there's more walking around and stuff. They go to find Elsa, and somehow he gets sidetracked, and they go find the trolls because, hey, guess what? He was raised by the fucking rock trolls. Who the hell would have guessed that? And she thinks he's crazy even after they pop open, because she's like, what the fuck are these people? What is going on? Why are the rock trolls a thing in this story? I mean, honestly, they show up once in the beginning, and it's like, oh, we know how to perfectly fix your daughter. And then they show up again, like, oh, we conveniently raised this guy, you know, because that's normal. And it's like, if they raised him, he would be wearing, like, that weird tribal shit they were wearing, whatever, I don't know. And then there's some more running around and the stuff, and then they all end up at, you know, Elsa's castle or whatnot. And Anna's like, hey, I want to go in there and, you know, talk to her. And so she walks in there, and then, there's some talking, and another musical number breaks out where Anna does her little, like, first time in forever, because that was the song that she started singing after finishing her Snowman song for 15 years. And Elsa's like, gotta keep it in, hide it and shit and whatever. And then, like, Anna's like, no, you fucked over Arendelle, you dumb bitch, just getting her back for that comment earlier. And then Elsa's like, I can't fix it. And Anna's like, yes, you can. And Elsa's like, no, I can't. She waves her hand and does a force push against Anna. And she's like, oh, shit, I just killed you, didn't I? Okay, go away. And then Anna's like, okay. And she's all hurt and heading back to the castle. And Sven and Kristoff, they're just gone. The fucking snowman's still there. He hasn't melted yet. He just needs to kick his head down the mountain. And then there's like this big snow golem thing that throws them out. He's got the most character. He's got more character than that stupid snowman. And so they all head back to the castle, all disappointed and crap. I think those two guards or whatever with that jackass traitor are like, oh, we can kill Elsa, and they fail miserably. We don't really care about them anymore. And so then they all head back to the castle, all freezing and hopeless, and Anna's dying, but we don't, really care because it's like, oh, yeah, you were kind of stupid from the beginning. But, whatever. And, that snowman is like, oh, I'll help you warm up, but wait, I'm a snowman. I'm made of fucking snow. Yeah, that works. And then Hans is like, hey, I can help you. And then she's like, you can't. He's like, no, surprise, I'm a dickbag, actually. But, but if only someone loved you, I'm just gonna go over here and take your castle for mine because I'm all resentful that my brothers are all better than me and older. And she's like, no, Hans. And he's like, yeah, bye. And so he leaves, and then there's a fire going, and then finally the goddamn snowman starts melting. And where it's like the happiest part of the fucking movie is watching him melt. And then, like, shit happens, and she's like, oh, I'm almost dead. And then, Elsa's like, oh, I gotta come back and save her or whatever. And then Kristoff and Sven are like, oh, we love her. We should go back and see her, because we want to get in the pockets of the royalty because our ice business is fucked. And so they start running back. I don't even remember how the fuck Elsa was going back. I might have felt guilty or some shit. I don't even know. And then, like, they're running back, and Anna's like, oh, I'm going to the lake now because, or the ocean that froze over, because that's so cold because no, not Anna. Fuck, I can't remember. The blonde chick froze them all. Because, the movie's called Frozen, so, there's gotta be frozen shit somewhere in it. And so they're all on that lake, and it's like, oh, everybody's in a fucking storm for like 5 minutes. It's like, oh, you're not just dragging it out for that last few minutes of footage, right? Yeah, and then, like, Anna's like, help, where are you all? Because I know you're out there, but it doesn't make any sense that I know you're out there or whatever. And then Elsa's like, I'm here, Anna, and Han shows up and just like, I'm gonna cut your head off because I'm from Game of Thrones. The Southern Isles send their regards, and then he stops for whatever reason, I don't remember why. Not important, he just doesn't. And Anna's like, oh, I'm gonna die because you fucked me over, you dumb sister. And she's like, no, and then Anna becomes ice, and and it's like, oh no, and everything drops away, and you're like, oh, she's dead. They're like, why am I watching a Disney movie that killed everyone? And then, like, Kristoff is in the background like, damn it, I wasn't fast enough. I'm her fucking true love. I could have saved her. And then, like, Elsa's like, no, and hugs that ice statue and, you know, doesn't bother her because she's the ice princess or queen or whatever, ice bitch, whatever. And then, like, it's like, oh, yeah, the sisterly love fixes it, because that's totally what we all thought, you know, because it's a Disney movie. And, you know, we totally thought it was going to be sisterly love because, you know, Disney movies haven't followed the same frickin' formula for the last 4 decades. And then, like, she warms up and gets all fucking better because, you know, you can reconstruct perfect living tissue out of frozen solid ice, can't you? Yeah, that worked so well. I was surprised she was not even brain dead or something weird like that. Who knows? And then everybody's all happy. I don't know if Hans fell in the lake and died or went into prison. We don't really care about what happens to Hans. The traitor asshole that wasn't really important in the first place gets arrested. And I think he gets sent back home or whatever. Who knows? He probably died too. That's just how that works. And then it's like summertime, and you're like, oh, yay! Best part of the movie, that fucking snowman's gonna die. He's gonna melt into a puddle. But then Elsa's like, oh, yeah, but you know what? I can control myself now because, you know, one hug makes it all better. And so she's like, here's a personal little cloud that follows you around and keeps you alive because, you know, everybody wants you to live for whatever fucking reason. And then, like, everybody's all happy because it's summer, and Kristoff is happy because he's like, damn, I'm like the royal ice dude now, and I can, like, go do stuff. Even though his job is completely useless since, you know, the fucking queen can make ice at will. I mean, why the fuck would they need a royal ice guy or whatever when the queen can make her own fucking ice at will? I mean, come on. Could you have a more useless job? Honestly. So then everybody's happy and singing or whatnot, and Elsa's like, hey, look, I have perfect control over it. Nobody's afraid, even though they wanted to basically fucking lynch her, like, not 30 minutes ago in the movie. And then it seems all happy and stuff and, you know, like a typical Disney movie. And you're just like, alright, cool. The credits start rolling and you're like, yeah, I just watched an amazing movie that, you know, didn't really meet my expectations, but in a good way. And so everybody leaves good reviews and they're all singing that remix song at the end. Let it go, let it go. Can't fuck that song. Let it go, let it go. Just let the fucking song go. And then, you know, you're like, oh, hey, you know, I'm still sitting here in the theater. There was that Marvel movie that came out, and people were like, oh, stay after the credits. There's stuff after the credits. And you're like, but nobody does that. But they're like, but there might be something after the credits, because fuck Marvel for making us sit through all the goddamn credits to see a last, you know, 4-second clip at the end of the movie that, you know, tells us like a tiny bit about what's going to happen. So they've all fucking trained us to sit through all the goddamn credits. And so you're sitting there in the theater watching these credits go by, listening to these I don't even fucking know, music. And you're like, oh, what am I doing? And at the very end, it just fades to black because you're a fucking dumbass because it's not a goddamn Marvel movie. And there's nothing at the end of it for you to watch. And so you just get up and leave and go about your goddamn life and listen to everybody else sing the songs of that movie. And you're like, yeah, let it go and stuff. And yeah, that's Frozen. Totally how it happened. This has been FoxNerd. Screw that song and fuck that snowman. He's the goddamn melt. Fuck it all.